All right, welcome to the Carl Jackson Show podcast, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Follow us on all things social media at The Carl Jackson Show, X, Instagram, Facebook, True Social, and Getter. Also, subscribe to our podcast wherever you go to get your podcast, The Carl Jackson Show. And I've got t-shirts for sale. Check out the description at the bottom of our podcast, and there will be a link for those. All right. It's kind of long. So anyway, we've got a link for you to go check out our t-shirts. There's a Promise t-shirt, which will be great for Pride Month coming up. There's a Love Guns, Hate Tyranny t-shirt. There's also Skin Ain't Sin, fighting back against the fake racism that the left pretends exists in the United States of America. That simply doesn't, and they want you to hate people because of what's between their legs or the color of their skin, all that kind of good stuff. Skin ain't sin. Anyway, check out that t-shirt. I love that t-shirt. All right, so anyway, let's get right to this. So obviously it's big news. Everybody's talking about it. So Biden has come out and said that he's going to debate Trump. He wants to debate Trump, not once, but twice. We'll see if that really happens. But anyway, I do want to dig into this. Here's the video clip that went viral yesterday of Biden laying down the gauntlet, if you will, to debate former President Donald Trump. Let's go ahead and roll the video. Por favor, Gabe.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Make my day, pal. Sounds like, he's trying to be a wannabe Clint Eastwood, and sounds like he wants to be on our gang. You guys remember the Little Rascals? The only thing that he was missing, he should have said like scram, found a way to say scram, Gabe, or something like that in that video. But obviously you guys have heard the news. That video had to be sliced or spliced 5 or 6 times for him to get out a 14-second ad video. And it's kind of more like something like Instagram video you would do with your phone or something like that. So maybe there was an attempt for him to seem more youthful or something. I don't know. But nonetheless, I for some reason, I have a feeling that video probably took 1,000 takes and lots of drugs for Biden to be able to sound that vibrant. And you notice he had to read the lines, so he was obviously reading a teleprompter, trying to sound like he's fluid. I do have this question to ask: if Biden is mentally fit to debate Trump, is he mentally fit enough to be prosecuted now? Can we go back to Special Counsel Robert Hur and say this guy is willing to debate Trump, so maybe he's willing to stand trial? Just a thought. Just a thought. But all right, I want to get into why, just real quickly. Obviously, some of the reasons why Biden has to debate Trump. Basically, the lawfare isn't working. All right, so here's what's happening. You see Trump rising in the polls. Trump is doing well in the polls, and this is if you believe the polls. Now, I want to caution you, and I always do for those of you that are listening to me, like, don't get so fixated on the polls that you don't show up, or that you don't convince your friends to show up, or you don't get involved in the 2024 election. The Democrats have a machine. I recorded a podcast this week with Sean Fleetwood of the Federalist and the 10 big lies, election lies that Democrats tell and how to refute them. And one thing that he reminded us of is the machine that the Democrat Party has compared to the Republican Party. So we can get all excited about polls. Well, the Democrats have a get out the vote effort that is, it just isn't matched by the Republican Party, even with the transition of Laura Trump, Scott Pressler helping out now, and I forget the name of the guy that actually heads up the RNC chair. We're Ronna McDaniel out. They have they have a machine, so you have to be aware of that. And so I don't, listen, I don't rely on the polls. I don't think you should rely on the polls, but certainly Biden and his administration are looking at the polls. And when you consider all the lawfare that they have waged against former President Donald Trump, first, let me say this. There's a reason why they had to wage lawfare against them. And this is unprecedented. Victor Davis Hanson wrote a column on this, and I'll touch on a little bit of that shortly. But all you have to do is look at all of the things that are impacting the United States of America. I mean, we have a border crisis, the Biden border crisis. I think Laken Riley and the murder of her University of Georgia student that was murdered at the hands of an illegal alien. I really think that caused many more Americans to begin focusing on the border that perhaps weren't paying as much attention to it before. For some reason, that story resonated with people. Young, beautiful girl in college murdered while she's just out jogging. That story just resonated with people. So you consider that. You consider the crime when you have Democrats saying that, oh, crime is going down. Joe Biden said crime is there's a 50-year low when that simply isn't true. You have fewer people reporting crimes. You have fewer police officers in many cities. You have these woke DAs, these George Soros appointed communist socialist DAs that are literally allowing criminals or letting criminals out. They're committing felonies. They're charging them, as misdemeanors and letting these guys walk. Whereas with Trump, this guy, if he did do something wrong, which he has not been charged for, in that Stormy Daniels case, if you will, the non-disclosure agreement case that they call the hush money case, even if there was a violation of what he did, that would be a misdemeanor, not a felony. Yet he's fighting 34 felonies. Back in the courtroom today, Michael Cohen is going to be back on the stage. And I'm calling it a stage intentionally. So I'm not paying a lot of attention to these trials because they're soap operas. All right. All they are, in my opinion, they're shams that are meant to distract you from Biden's border crisis, from rising crime, for the economy. Right now, you had Joe Biden just the other day announced that not only was he maintaining Trump's tariffs on China, but he was going to be adding to them. He was going to be doubling down. So now all of a sudden China is a threat. And what he inadvertently admitted was that Donald Trump did the right thing by slapping those tariffs on China. All right. And now you have inflation that has increased 3.4% since the same time last year. And that doesn't mean it's just, grew 3.4%. That's in addition to the inflation in which we were already experiencing and undergoing. You have the prices of housing that is up 47% since Joe Biden took office, 47%. So if you were saving for a house when Joe Biden entered office, right? You were like, you know what, we're going to save, my wife and I, we're going to save. And then in 2 years, we're going to put a down payment on the house. Now 2 years goes by and you're like, oh crap, we can't save enough. This isn't enough. Or we'll save a little more. So we save a little more to put money down. And then 2 years comes and it's like, whoa, houses have gone up 50%. We can't afford the house. So now we have to resort to just simply renting without the hopes of buying. Oh, and by the way, rents are astronomical too. I mean, it's just... It's insane what a lot of people are experiencing under this Biden administration, not to mention the foreign policy where you have Joe Biden and his administration actively trying to get Bibi Netanyahu out of office in Israel. I mean, it's insane. Refusing to send them the weaponry that's already been paid for and approved by Congress, siding with Hamas over Israel, when the vast majority of Americans say the right thing to do is for Israel to take out Hamas. And people see this. And then they see Biden, drooling all over himself to get one sentence out of his freaking mouth. People see this. People are not stupid. Well, a lot of American voters are stupid. I hate to say that. I hate to be so mean. But a good portion of American voters aren't. And some are just starting to wake up. And all of this lawfare stuff, I think a lot of people are seeing it for exactly what it is, a sham. And they realize that the system under Joe Biden is unjust. And I'll give you some examples. I'll give you some examples shortly here. But if we just go to this, let me just take a look at the polls. Uh-oh, I'm having some difficulties. All right, so I'm just looking at the polls. These are the battleground states. These are the states that are going to allegedly decide the election, that are going to decide the election. You have Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Nevada. Now, if listen, I still think the polls are too close for how disastrous Joe Biden has been. If you believe the polls, this is what they say: Wisconsin, Trump up by 6/10%, 47.9 to Biden's 47.3. Arizona, Trump up 48.4 over Biden's 43.2. Georgia, Trump is up 49 points to Biden 44.4. Michigan, Trump is up 46 to Biden's 45.2. Pennsylvania, Trump is up 47.6. I think that has to do with energy. To Biden's 45.6. And going back to Michigan, I really think that's the car industry there. Some of the union workers. North Carolina, Trump up 48.2 to Biden's 42.8. Nevada, Trump is up 48 to Biden's 41.8. Now, Democrats have a machine. So there's a lot of people that probably still aren't paying attention to the election on the Democrat side. They have a get out the vote effort. I guarantee you, everyone that isn't paying attention to this election, that aren't motivated to vote, right? They will somehow either get a ballot or be told or get some type of, whether it's on their phone, via their mail. Democrats have a machine. And what the left is going to do is they're going to try to make you what they've already been trying to do, but it hasn't been working. They want you to hate Donald Trump so much that you're inspired to get out and vote because you hate Donald Trump. That's what they're relying on. They're relying on hate because they can't rely on the economy. Right now, I'm looking at just headlines from off of Real Clear Politics. Surging hospital prices are helping keep inflation high. Inflation increases 3.4% in April from the same time last year. April retail sales disappoint. Things are getting tougher and tougher and tougher for people economically. And the economy, it's the economy stupid. Economy is the top concern of people right now. For a period of time, it had shifted to borders. I think borders is number two, but those things will be 2 and 1. All it's going to take is another murder for borders to go back on number 1. And those murders are happening. But for whatever reason, that Laken Riley scenario really captured the heart of Americans. More people are living off of credit cards. Generation Zers have more credit card debt than the most credit card debt than all of the prior generations before them that have used credit cards. You got Red Lobster closing down 100 stores. What does that tell you? That's blue collar seafood. All right. I'm not a seafood person. I hate seafood, to be honest with you. I just think it's disgusting. I think it smells like feet. So I'm not a fan of seafood. I don't like it. If I was starving, I'd eat it. I'm not going to lie with you. Although I like tuna fish sandwiches. So I guess that is a little weird. But beyond that, I don't like seafood. All right. Never been a fan. But you got Red Lobster, the blue collar seafood place, closing down 100 locations. Think of how many people are going to be out of jobs. Think of how that's going to impact local economies. I mean, this is absolutely insane. And people feel this, not to mention higher gas prices, higher food prices. So that's why Biden has to debate. He's looking at these poll numbers and they're like, oh, crap, we're losing. If you believe the polls, right? He's looking at the polls and thinking, oh, crap, we're losing. All this lawfare that we've been utilizing against Trump to make people hate him aren't impacting the polls in the way that we thought they would. And so now I'm forced to debate him. And Biden is such a cocky little son of a bee that he's willing to do it. I don't know who's put him up to it. I think it's a really stupid idea for him to debate, but I'm glad I'm glad he will. Here's some of the demands that he is if he's going to debate. This is what he wants. No audience, right? Why would you not want an audience? Because you don't want people reacting to what you have to say, good or bad. Frankly, I prefer debates where there isn't an audience. But I think in Biden's case, He would do it because he doesn't want people. He wants to be able to lie on stage without a reaction, without people saying "ah" or boo. Or I think he wants that. Not only that, when you consider the fact that he has dementia, let's just be honest. All right, when you consider the fact that he has dementia, if he's taken off task, if he's forced to lose his chain of thought, you know what I mean? I think he'll just I think he'll screw up. So I think those are part of the reasons why he doesn't want an audience. He doesn't want the booing. He doesn't want to be called out in person, and they might get him off a script, so to speak, right? Also, no RFK Jr. I think this benefits both candidates. He says that he won't debate if there's an RFK Jr. Now, RFK Jr. has come out and said, listen, I qualify for these debates. The first debate will be with CNN, Jake Tapper and Dana Lash. All right. So these are people that will help Joe Biden in the debate. So if there is a Trump Biden debate, it'll be Trump versus Biden versus Jake Tapper versus Dana Lash. Or not. I'm sorry. Not. Is that her? No. Oh, good Lord. I'm thinking of nationally syndicated. Not. Oh my goodness. I forget her name. Dana Bash. I'm sorry. So it'll be Trump versus Jake Tapper versus Biden versus Dana Bash. That's how it'll go. Biden demanded that they would have to bypass the nonpartisan organization that usually manages the presidential debates. I don't necessarily think that matters because Republicans have done a horrible job in picking outlets to be a part of the debates in the past. And all of those, it seems to me that the vast majority of outlets are biased against the Republican Party anyway. So I don't think that'll make much of a difference. But again, RFK Jr., I think would make a difference because I think he siphons off more votes. I think he siphons off votes from both candidates. And frankly, RFK Jr., even though his raspy voice is hard to hear, when I've heard that guy, I saw him do a Sean Hannity special, and Sean Hannity threw him some tough questions. And that guy, he is very, very smart, very intelligent, very left wing. That's what a lot of people don't understand because of his vaccine stance. Very left wing, but appears to be a man of conviction. But on so many issues, climate change, abortion, I mean, far, far left. All right. So gun control is another one. But if he gets on the stage and he sounds really intelligent, and I think at this point, Biden is doing so bad, maybe he siphons off more points from Biden. I don't know. Initially, I thought it was Trump. And then I thought it was Biden. And then, okay, maybe he's siphoning off more from. But based upon what I'm seeing, this panic and this desperation from the Biden White House. And you got to understand, Biden is desperate. He is desperate. That is the reason why he needs to debate Trump. He is desperate. They have to do something to stop the bleeding if you believe the polls, right? Because this is scaring the bat crap out of them. And so also this gives them enough time. If they debate in June and September, I believe is when they want to debate. This is before. Right. This is before the DNC convention that they have in August. So people are assuming that this will be long forgotten. Right. This debate will be long forgotten. And then September will be enough time for the left to continue to attack Trump, through October. Remember, October surprise, October, before we get to November 5th. So perhaps that's what they're banking on. I'm not even convinced that these debates will happen. I believe that Biden will find a way to get out of the debates. But again, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's serious. Maybe they'll jack him up so much with some type of juice. He'll be able to handle it. And then he'll just go onto the stage like Fire Marshal Bill. Let me show you something. He'll be so hyped up, just like he was for the State of the Union. But just real quickly, let me mention this. I'm looking at some of my notes, how the left is ignoring left-wing stuff. Actor Steve Buscemi assaulted in New York. These are kind of old news, but new news that happened earlier this week. Let me do this. I want to bring you some quick headlines. And also, I would just want to remind you of why the lawfare, just how unjust this lawfare is. And again, it's not working. And I think it's I got to tell you, I think it is the economy, stupid. I do believe, it's inflation. I believe it is the crime. I believe it is the open borders. But I do believe that Americans in general, and I'm speaking of moderates, moderate Democrats, they fundamentally sense, Americans, it's in our DNA, fundamentally sense something that is unjust and unfair. So I'm just going to take a quick trip down memory lane and just remind you of all of these fake sham prosecutions, including the one that continues to go on today with Michael Cohen at the helm testifying on behalf of the prosecution in the Trump non-disclosure agreement case. Excuse me. All right. So, but before I do that, I do want to talk to you about wealth protection research. All right. At the very heart of our democracy lies a principle that we hold sacred. It's called free speech. It's the cornerstone that supports every freedom that we cherish, allowing ideas to flourish, debates to ignite, and progress to be made. Without it, our pursuit of liberty, our ability to challenge, and our capacity to innovate would be severely constrained. Yet, in today's digital age, the very platform that should democratize information is being used to narrow the spectrum of ideas we're exposed to. Important discussions about our wealth, our rights, and our future are being systematically silenced or overshadowed in mainstream narratives, leaving many feeling voiceless in conversations that are crucial to our financial independence and security. This is where wealth protection research steps in. They're armed with a mission that's never been more critical. Wealth Protection Research is not a financial advisory firm. They are defenders of free speech. They're committed to giving a voice to the silence in an era where dialogues about retirement investments and economic freedoms are increasingly censored. Wealth Protection Research is focused on ensuring that diverse, controversial, and revolutionary ideas have a platform. Wealth Protection Research tirelessly seeks out financial experts, the thought leaders, and the trailblazers who have been pushed to the margins by mainstream media and tech platforms like Facebook and Google. These are the voices that challenge prevailing narratives, offering fresh, often contrarian perspectives on protecting and growing your wealth, especially as we navigate the uncertainties of the 2024 election. By spotlighting these thinkers like Jim Rickards and Porter Stansberry, Wealth Protection Research is not just sharing financial advice, they are fostering a movement towards a more open and informed and a free society. Wealth Protection Research has created for you a 2024 Election Wealth Protection Report. This free report highlights the 3 best ideas for protecting and growing your money heading into the 2024 election. And Lord knows, after listening to this, the news that I gave you on the economy, we need it. It contains ideas the mainstream media won't touch, and listeners can get it completely free. All you have to do is text the word ideas to the number 76626. That is IDEAS to the number 76626. Plus, if you text the word ideas today, you'll also get a free gold investment kit from Wealth Protection Research, sponsored by Augusta Precious Metals. All right. Also, don't forget Mike Lindell at MyPillow. They no longer have the support of the big box stores or the shopping channels. They've been canceled. But the good news is Mike is passing the savings completely on to you or directly to you. They have a $25 extravaganza. Mike started MyPillow with literally one product. Now he has dedicated employees that's helped them to create hundreds of products, some that you may not know about. So to get out the word, I want to invite my listeners to check out their $25 extravaganza. Again, you get a 2-pack multi-use My Pillows for just $25. My Pillow sandals are $25. Their 6-pack towels sets are $25. Brand new 4-pack of dish towels are $25. All right. And for the first time ever, the premium My Pillows with the all new Giza fabric, they're $25. Orders over $75 will receive free shipping too. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Carl. Mypillow.com, use the promo code Carl, CARL, or give them a call, 800-858-0263, 800-858-0263. All right, just real quick, some headlines that I want to share with you. Obviously, the big news: Biden has agreed to debate Trump. I've told you that it appears that the Biden administration is trying to push Benjamin Netanyahu out of his position in Israel. That's Israel's business. Biden and his administration don't seem to like Israel because he likes his nation state too much. So they hate him. They've got a bunch of these communists. Their base are a bunch of communists, pro-terrorists, pro-Hamas. All these people that they're having to cater to, which is insane. People name inflation as a top financial concern heading into the election. So that's something that Biden has to be concerned about. Again, this is part of the reason why he's agreeing or saying he wants to debate Trump, but he's trying to put parameters on it. I actually think Trump has the leverage. I know a lot of people are out saying, listen, and Ben Shapiro said it, man, Trump should jump at this, or he should have, or I'm glad he did, basically confirming that, man, Trump's got to take advantage of it. I would want to debate, Joe Biden if I were Trump. So I absolutely get it. But I actually think that Biden is so desperate right now in his administration that Trump has the upper hand. Trump can't go on that stage and blow it. Now, Biden lied in that video. He probably forgot and said that he beat Trump in 2 debates. No. The first debate, Trump just came off like just too intense, and it just didn't go over well. But if Trump were to stay measured, if Trump were to talk about policy and not let Biden wrap him in or get him entangled into some type of nasty, stupid, worthless debate that voters don't care about. But you talk about borders, you talk about crime, you talk about the economy, you talk about foreign policy, and help people to remember the 3 years of your presidency, President Trump, that people love. The 4th year was rough with the lockdowns, but those first 3 years, just, help people to remember that. And you are going to look very, proficient on stage, right? And Joe Biden is going to be lying his teeth off. So Trump will have to correct him, but the mics will be cut. That's another thing. They won't be able to necessarily respond. So Trump will have to get his digs in when his mic is back up. If in fact they do debate, but I think Biden will be looking for an exit somehow, some way. Governor Newsom throws billions of additional tax dollars to homelessness, stating California as the model for the country. Yeah, if you want more homelessness, California is the model. This guy has thrown, I think it's been $20 billion over the last decade trying to improve the homelessness crisis in California, and it's only gotten worse. It's a one-party state, one-party rule. Gavin Newsom sucks. He stunk as the mayor of San Francisco, and Californians stupidly voted that guy in as the governor of California. One of the dumbest moves ever. There's another barge. This is an interesting story. Another barge that partially collapsed a bridge in Texas after an accident. So a portion of the Pelican Island Bridge collapsed Wednesday morning. That was yesterday after it was hit by a barge, closing the only road that connects the island to Galveston, Texas. The collision also caused an oil spill in the bay, resulting in the closure of the Gulf Intracoastal Waterway, which is a huge blow to operations as significant maritime commercial traffic uses the waterway along the Texas coast. You don't say. This, according to ABC 13 News out there. The incident comes just 2 months after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed in Baltimore, Maryland, following a ship striking it. All right. Let's see what else here. Okay. So anyway, that's on the tip sheet for today. Let's see what else we got here. Now, let me just remind you just real quickly what Trump is going through, because I really do think this is affecting the polls too. I really believe that the longer that these sham trials go on, the worse they're going to be for the worse they are for Joe Biden. Frankly, because people realize that fundamentally they are a sham, and they're simply not working. All right, so just consider this. All right, because I believe that people sense a fundamental unfairness, and I believe that Americans that actually love America, they realize that one of the things that what makes America exceptional is our rule of law, our Judeo-Christian system, our Christian nation that built this system that is so fundamentally fair, right? And I know people, we had slavery. The whole world had slavery, fools. It ended here. All right. So that's very important. I mean, there's like no I'm so sick of these people that, oh, slavery, slavery, slavery. Listen, yes, it was evil. Absolutely evil. Slavery is evil. There's more slavery today that exists on the planet, as a matter of fact, and it is absolutely evil. But by and large, it was America that ended slavery. And people will look at America as this shining city on a hill. That's what we want to be able to return to. It's going to be hard to do that with Joe Biden in office. But you have 5 civil and criminal cases against former President Trump while he's running for the presidency. People know that Joe Biden is doing this because he has dementia. People know that the guy cannot run again. He can't run on the economy. He can't run on his foreign policy. What is he going to do? Talk about open borders and how he's trying to pack as many illegals in so they'll vote for the Democrat Party in perpetuity. Obviously he can't talk about that. They can't talk about crime without lying about it and saying the numbers are going down when the truth is they're just not arresting people, particularly in blue cities, like they used to, and reporting crime in the way that they used to. But people understand that there is no equal justice under the law anymore. All right. So the left can't entrust the election to we the people. They don't trust that. So they've got to try to jail their opponent. And that's exactly what they're trying to do with former President Donald Trump. I mean, just think about it. You have Alvin Bragg in New York, a district attorney, trying to prosecute Trump on federal election court. How are local and state prosecutors trying to get the former president on federal charges? Guys, this is unheard of. This is all new law that's being invented in order to go after Trump. And people see it. People see how stupid it is. They really do. But just consider this. All right, consider this. You have the Russia collusion hoax. This is just a continued effort to get Trump. The attacks continue. This is an 8-year campaign to get this guy on a total bullcrap. And it doesn't matter how you feel about Trump. I think that most Americans can honestly say this has just been fundamentally unfair, what's been happening to this guy, and just wrong at its core. All right. So you have the Russia collusion hoax, right, with Hillary Clinton, all this kind of stuff. You had Robert Mueller investigating Trump for a couple of years of it in his presidency, Trump being distracted by that, and still managed to do a great job, except for spending. Managed to do a great job in his first 3 years in office, and then all right, there was no there. So the Russia collusion hoax ended with Trump not being convicted. Not being thrown out of office, obviously. Then you have the Hunter Biden laptop disinformation campaign, right? Where in 2020, the Hunter Biden laptop had all of these salacious details and about Hunter Biden's life and Hunter Biden's corruption and his business with his father, vice president, or former vice president at the time, Joe Biden, and also Senator Joe Biden, where they were making these, there's no way Hunter Biden were getting these jobs that he was getting without the influence of his dad. With the classified documents and all this kind of stuff that Biden would leave in his garage for Hunter Biden to come in and get. But you had that disinformation campaign that probably cost Trump the election in 2020 beyond. I mean, I'm sorry. It was just a dumb move for Trump to shut down the economy. That is a no. You never do. I know Trump was a different cat, and I thought he could get past it, but he opened the doors and Democrats bum rushed those doors. They broke it in. Oh man, I got to talk about Kamala Harris throwing the F-bomb. I got to do that maybe for a separate podcast. I think she just did that to try to be relevant to younger voters. That lady is so dumb, it's sad. All right, but anyway, so you had that Hunter Biden laptop story, 51 intelligence authorities lying about that, the origins of it. And then just consider this. Consider all of the cases. The E. Jean Carroll case where she claimed sexual assault. She's awarded tens of millions of dollars. No evidence that it actually occurred. And the lady is a nut. I mean, literally, I went to check her out online, see some of the lady is a nut. All right. Also, you have the Alvin Bragg case, a hush money case, which is a non-disclosure agreement case, which even if it were available or prosecutable, if that's a word, the statute of limitations has run out, and the best the best charge that you could bring would only carry a misdemeanor. All right. Then you have Letitia James and the real estate case where basically they said Trump overvalued his property in New York. It's a totally, and Mar-a-Lago, a totally victimless crime and just totally asinine. As a matter of fact, Judge Engeron, who, by the way, is under ethics investigation for allegedly taking advice from a real estate attorney in New York on the Trump case. We'll see how that pans out. I'm sure nothing will come of it. But Letitia James and Judge Engeron valuing Mar-a-Lago, I think, at $18 million when Trump paid about that 4 decades ago. Just absolutely insane. Victimless crimes. It doesn't happen that way. You can overvalue your property all you want. That's what property appraisers and banks are for. They come in and say, we're not issuing that loan at that amount, but we'll issue it at this amount. These banks, these businesses wanted to continue to do business with Trump. Then you have the Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade case where literally they were going back and forth to the White House, working with the White House. I like to know what they were doing, going back and forth to the White House. Meanwhile, Fannie Willis was paying Nathan Wade as a special prosecutor 5-6 times more as she was paying the other people on the case and taking lavish vacations and eating expensive meals with them. Then you got the Jack Smith Mar-a-Lago case. I mean, just think about this. This is what voters have had to endure. So that's why they can look at these trials now and say, oh, man, this is a bunch of crap. Everybody knows what's happening. I think most people, I honestly believe most Democrats know what's happening. I really do. They just hate Trump so much. They've been trained to hate him so much that they're just going along with it. But you got the Jack Smith Mar-a-Lago case, which doesn't appear to be going anywhere. The Fannie Willis case with her having that affair with Nathan Wade, I think that's pretty much over and done with. Again, Jack Smith invading Mar-a-Lago. I mean, that was absolutely insane. We had never seen anything like it. Like it before, especially when you had George W. Bush, President Barack Obama, and you had Joe Biden, who had classified documents, illegally obtained classified documents as a senator and vice president. He doesn't have the arguments that Trump had, but yet Robert Hur lets him off because he's mentally unfit, right, to be prosecuted. But somehow this guy can continue to run the country and have a debate. So if he's mentally fit to have a debate, he should be mentally fit to be prosecuted. And then you have Tara Reade, right? Tara Reade, that claimed sexual assault against Joe Biden. Oh, there's no there. They ran that lady out of the country. They destroyed her. If somebody accuses a Republican, a conservative, of having an affair, doing anything, I'm not saying that it's moral, and I'm not condoning it any way, shape, or form, but it's a major sword. Tara Reade, oh no. You gotta shut her up. You gotta shut her up. And that's exactly what they did. You got Stacey Abrams. She claimed she won the 2018 gubernatorial race. I didn't see Fannie Willis going after her, right? The lady claimed for years that she won that race. Hillary Clinton, the same thing. 2016. Plus, Hillary Clinton was fined $100,000 for a 2016 campaign violation for starting that Russia collusion hoax. Paying Christopher Steele, hiring a foreign entity, a foreign spy, right? Obama was fined $375,000 for improperly reporting nearly $2 million in campaign donations back in 2008. Are any of these guys in trouble? No. Everybody knows that the lawfare is part of Biden's campaign against Trump, but it hasn't been working, and people are experiencing the pain at the pump and in the grocery store. And I think because they're experiencing the pain at the pump and the grocery store, I think now they're looking at Trump differently, and they're looking at these cases differently. And they're saying, whoa. What's going on here? What's going on here? Anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Again, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. That includes Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Por favor. All right. And again, all things social media at the Carl Jackson Show. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. The Carl Jackson Show is where you can find me. And don't forget to check out our links at the bottom of the page to check out our t-shirts. It's for those of you that want to find the website, it is kind of long, but carljacksonmerch.itemorder.com, carljacksonmerch.itemorder.com, or just check out the links below in the description. We would certainly appreciate that. Love guns, hate tyranny t-shirt, skin ain't sin t-shirt, and a promise t-shirt right in time for Pride Month. So check out those t-shirts, por favor. All right, guys, until next time, do not grow weary doing good. God bless you.